One of the things that I've not been looking forward to is tackling the wiring in this camper. And I don't know if I've said this before. This is the first one that I've done. I'm a novice. I'm learning as I'm going, and I appreciate a lot of information that's on the internet, other YouTube videos and blogs, and just lots of information that's out there. And what I've learned is that campers typically have, or at least these older campers have, 3 separate wiring systems, and this one seems to. One would be the trailer lights, the stop lights and blinkers that you hook to the tow vehicle. That's one wiring system. This one also has a 110 volt AC wiring system that's completely separate. And then it also has another DC, 12 volt DC system to run some lights, which is separate as well. And so what I've learned is that I've got all 3 of these, but they're not all connected and working. The 110 volt AC seems to be working fine. That's what this light is on. And you can see the wiring going through the walls. There's a light junction box right there. Got a switch plug, a plug over here, and another plug or 2, and another couple of lights. Those all seem to be working well. Another interesting thing that I've learned is that on these lights, like this one here, I'll turn this off so I can see it better. There are 2 switches. This one for the 110 volt, and then that's the black one, and then there's a white switch which evidently activates or turns this socket on, and I'm assuming you'd have to have a different type light bulb for that. But there's a whole nother DC wiring. There's AC and DC that goes to each of these lights, and so that's one of the things that I'm going to have to try to connect and get to working again. Hello, cat. So I'm talking about the DC lighting on the light fixtures in this 67 Frolic camper, and this one also has 2 switches. Here's a black switch on this side, and there's also a white switch on the other side. And if you look at the wire that goes to that switch, you can see that this wire right here is a blue color, and that's coming in and going to the switch that activates that white switch. So it's just a single wire coming in, and it's grounded to the camper ground right here. And so that's the way that works. Now, I've also found that those wires, that blue wire, that set of blue wires, doesn't connect to anything at this point. You can see right here that it comes up from the bottom of the camper from underneath, and then it goes this direction, and probably up in the wall here it splits out and goes to the front and then goes to the back. So if you go outside and look, you can see where these 2 wires come out. The blue one looks like it's for the DC lighting, and then the brown one is for the marker lights on the outside. Here's where these 2 wires come out from the bottom of the camper, and you can see that they're just not connected to anything. So what I'm going to do is connect those into the brown one. Obviously I'm going to connect that into the trailer connection to the tow vehicle, and then the blue one, I'm not exactly sure how to do that yet. What I'd like to do is put a battery in a charger, so that when we get to a destination, if we don't have electricity, we can run the DC lights off the battery, but I need to figure out how to hook all that up. The marker lights on the outside of the camper have been replaced by reflectors. So I've bought new marker lights, and I'm going to have to take all the reflectors off, make sure I can get to the wiring that's behind them and get that pulled out and get the new marker lights put on. Here's one of them that I've just got stuck on temporarily, but so it's the same shape and the same hole pattern, so that's nice. But I think I'm going to have to probably do that at the time that of course after I paint the camper, but I'm going to have to sand down so that these marker lights will make a good ground connection to the aluminum siding, because there's only one wire running to them, and the ground is just the camper ground itself, which is the aluminum. Here's what the wiring for those marker lights looks like. You can see it's the brown wire that I mentioned, just running in a series from place to place. There's one, another one, and just runs across like that and kind of pokes through. You can see the holes there, kind of a rough holes that were just poked through there when it was manufactured. And so each of those wires is going to have to be fished back through those holes, which I can do. I'll just have to make sure I get that done before I put the paneling all back in. But I've tested the brown wires from side to side. They're all continuous, all connected. So I think I just need to connect down at the bottom here, make sure those connect into the wiring that goes to the tow vehicle, and they should work.